Does it feel like something is off in your seemingly perfect relationship? Is it like he showers you with care, affection, and respect, but still something feels absent? This might be your instincts warning you about your partner. You see, most of us fall for the apparent and superficial aspects of a relationship, like gifts, dates, luxuries, completely forgetting what a true relationship looks like. We cling to the hope of love, only to confront a harsh reality later. But that doesn't have to be your story. It's essential to know whether your partner truly loves you or not before it's too late. And that's why, in this video, I'm revealing 10 signs that your partner gives when he doesn't love you, even if he pretends to love you a lot. Learning about these signs will give you control and empower you to make well-informed decisions instead of being made a fool. So, are you ready to take control and have a real, meaningful relationship? Let's begin. Number 10. He tries to change you. Have you ever felt like your partner gives you too many instructions and tries to change you into someone you're not? If yes, it's a subtle sign of a red flag. You see, when a man truly loves you, he wants to see the best version of yourself. He puts his best efforts into helping you improve yourself. But when he wants you completely to change yourself into someone else that you are not, that's not love. Understand it this way. A guy who truly loves you loves the way you are, the way you look, the way you speak, the way you think. But if he doesn't truly love you, he might try to change you into someone he found attractive in the past or present. He may ask you to dress a certain way. He may criticize your hobbies, or even try to turn you against your own choices. While his behavior remains polite, he certainly cannot make you happy like this. Regular criticism can erode your self-esteem, and you stop being confident in yourself because his constant attempts to change you. And ultimately, he can use this as an excuse later on to leave you. So, it is important to address this situation if it happens to you. So, what should you do about it? Well, don't be too hasty in making a decision. Stay open to his suggestions and advice, but let some boundaries be set. Make it clear that he cannot do negative criticism all the time, as it hurts your confidence. But if it keeps happening, trust your instincts when making a choice, and remember that a loving partner accepts you for who you are, flaws and all. Number 9. He doesn't make time for you. Is he often ignoring your phone calls or text messages now? Or does he make excuses for being too busy and not giving you enough time? If yes, it could be a subtle sign that he doesn't love you even if he thinks he does. You see, a person who truly loves someone always makes time for her, even when he is genuinely busy. It's all about priorities. Consider this. You and your partner used to enjoy weekends together, going out and having fun. But lately, he's been constantly busy with work, friends, or hobbies, and your time together has dwindled. When you try to make plans, he often cancels at the last minute or doesn't seem enthusiastic. You start feeling like an afterthought, wondering why he never seems to have time for you anymore. This lack of effort to prioritize the relationship can be deeply hurtful and isolating. A true friendship is not about feeling isolated and alone. It's about sticking with each other and finding happiness together. So, if he doesn't make time for you as he used to, you simply cannot keep on ignoring this aspect. So what should you do? Express your feelings openly and honestly to him and tell him the value of investing time in each other. If the situation doesn't improve, consider if this relationship is meeting your emotional needs. If not, it's time to let go. One important thing is that you must not confuse his few busy times with a lack of love. Everyone has busy periods, so it is necessary to give him some time and observe his behavior before taking action. Number 8. He's hot and cold. It can be very confusing and hurtful when he shows you kindness and affection one day and then becomes totally different the next day. But what if I tell you that being hot and cold at times is a sign of a bigger issue? It's not just changing his mood. It could be that he doesn't even love you. Now, you may think, he is not harsh all the time. Then how come he is not in love with me? Tell me, is your partner extremely loving and attentive for a week, planning romantic dates and sending sweet messages, then, without a warning, becoming distant, taking hours or days to respond to your texts, and showing little interest in spending time together? Does he eagerly introduce you to his friends and family, making you feel like an important part of his life, only to start canceling plans last minute the next month, leaving you feeling confused and unimportant? Now, if this doesn't happen to you, then there's nothing to worry about this sign. But If you feel like it is your story these days, then it's time to give it an honest thought. Psychologists explain that showing hot and cold behaviors is a tactic to keep you under control and gain power over you. It's like he keeps you happy, but doesn't let you come too close. You start to talk very carefully around him, worrying that something might upset him and he might show cold behavior again. That's how you don't get to say anything openly and stay under his control. When you want to leave, he becomes too kind and loving that what happened earlier was an accident, and it was not a big deal. It creates a push and pull dynamic where you get stuck and you don't know what to do. So, here's what you need to do. Address it directly and seek clarity. Make it clear that this inconsistent behavior cannot be tolerated. If he doesn't stop, don't hesitate to find a partner who provides you with emotional stability. Number 7. He compares you to his exes. Did it ever happen to you that he started comparing you to his ex? I mean, did he even compare your facial beauty, your mental capability, your dressing sense, or your choices in life with hers? It is a subtle sign that he doesn't truly love you. Let me explain. When he compares you with his exes, his attention still is not fully on you but diverted to his past life. A person who truly loves someone leaves his past life behind and only thinks about his future with you. And if this love is not real, then he tries to find his previous life in you. Or he doesn't take you for who you are. For instance, during a disagreement, he might say, "My ex never had issues with this." Or during a casual conversation, he might highlight how his previous partner was more understanding or fun. Comparing you like this can lower your self-esteem and make you feel like you are never enough. So, keep one thing in mind. It's not about trying to keep him happy. It's about you having a fulfilling relationship with him. And if he doesn't accept you for who you are, the problem is with him, not with you. So, a positive and healthy way to address this situation is to reach out to him directly and have open and serious communication. Make it clear that his past life is in the past, and he should never bring up his exes into any conversation. This will be your last warning to him, and the last resort would be to move on and find a partner who accepts you for who you are. Number 6. He regularly dismisses your feelings. How do your arguments unfold with him? Does it feel like you are talking to a wall? I mean, does he take your emotions too lightly and doesn't seem to care about them at all? Well, that's a serious problem. This behavior involves ignoring, belittling, or invalidating your emotions and experiences, and it's a subtle sign that he doesn't love you but only pretends. You see, when a person truly loves you, he doesn't see you as a separate person with separate problems. You two become one, and your problems, concerns, and emotions become his too. When he truly sees you as his soulmate, he takes you for every problem like his own. If you become emotional, he becomes emotional. If you are happy, that makes him happy too. And if you experience something, he feels it through your words. But if a person doesn't care about anything you say, he cannot be in love. You are a convenience for him. He is not willing to put an effort into providing emotional support. For instance, you might share your frustration about a difficult day at work, only to hear, "You're overreacting," or "It's not a big deal." If you express hurt over a comment he made, he might respond with, "You're too sensitive," or "Why are you always so emotional?" This constant dismissal makes you feel unheard and unimportant, as if your emotions don't matter. Remember, a healthy relationship is built on mutual respect and empathy, where both partners feel heard and valued. So, it's okay to find better options because your feelings matter the most. Number 5. He is disrespectful towards your family. Did he ever end up insulting your family members while being in an argument with you? This kind of behavior is a subtle sign that he doesn't truly love you. I mean, it can happen once in a while as people tend to say things they don't mean, especially when they're angry. But if you regularly insult or make a joke about your family, then the biggest questions arise, which is, does he even love you? You see, when he truly loves you, he doesn't only make sure you're not hurt, he also makes sure not to talk badly about your family in front of you or behind you. He knows that insulting your family will hurt you, and he never takes an action that can lead to hurting your feelings. Moreover, if he really sees you as his soulmate, then your family will be his family too. He wouldn't insult them just as he wouldn't like to insult his own parents or siblings. But if none of that matters to him, he gives no value to your family, treats them badly, and disrespects them. It means he doesn't really care about your feelings. He says what he wants to say without thinking about the consequences. This behavior can create a divide between you and your family, leaving you feeling torn and isolated. Over time, this can erode your confidence and make you question your own values and relationships. So, it is essential to deal with this situation before it goes to your family. Number 4. You feel alone, even when with him. Does it ever happen that you feel isolated and alone, even in his company? Is it one of the subtle signs of his pretentious love that he makes you feel alone? It happens when he doesn't give you the attention that you deserve. It's like you're not even present there for him, and he keeps himself busy with other stuff. Understand it like this. You're sitting together on the couch, but he's completely absorbed in his phone or a video game, barely acknowledging your presence or attempts to start a conversation. You try to talk to him about your day or share something important, but he responds with one-worded answers or seems uninterested, leaving you feeling unheard. You initiate physical affection, like holding hands or hugging, but he pulls away or seems uncomfortable, making you feel rejected and alone. There are many examples of everyday life that you may have experienced. You see, people need meaningful interactions and emotional support, especially from their partners. Feeling alone in his company erodes your confidence, and you start to feel like you are not good enough for him, which can affect your mental health. So, it is as simple as that. You don't need a person who makes you feel alone, even when you think you are in a relationship. You need someone who truly loves you and treats you like a queen, no matter what company you both are in. Number 3. He doesn't compromise. Is it true that you are all about compromises, but when things are expected of him, he never compromises? If yes, just know whatever he has with you is not love. These quick examples might help you understand it. Let's say if he asks you to go out with him whenever it is convenient for him, and you do that without any hesitation. But when you ask him to do the same for you, and it's not convenient for him, he refuses to go out with you and makes excuses for being too busy. If you ask him to help you with the house chores, he stays uninterested and doesn't really bother helping you. Similarly, he never cancels his plans for you, doesn't get in lines for you, and doesn't do anything that requires him to put in some effort. You see, relationships build and thrive on compromises. It never works when one person makes all the effort and the other doesn't take it seriously. Both of you have to make sacrifices for each other to make things work, and apparently, if he's not compromising for you, that means he doesn't really love you and this relationship is not valuable enough for him. Because if it is, he would try his best to save it, even if it means sacrificing things in his life. So, an optimal approach for you is to express your feelings and the importance of finding a middle ground. If he remains flexible, it might be a sign that he is willing to invest in a balanced and respectful relationship, which means you should not put any more effort into preventing such a relationship. Number 2. He doesn't talk about the future. Tell me, does he change the subject when you try to talk about the future or your relationship? Or does he simply not talk about it by saying stuff like living in the present or what's the rush? You know, it could mean that he is not fully committed to you as he pretends. You see, when he doesn't talk about the future, there could be bigger underlying issues behind his behavior. It could mean that he was never interested in having a long-term relationship with you and is just playing around temporarily. But he doesn't accept it because he is afraid that you might leave her, which he doesn't want for now. He also wants to keep his options alive by not getting married to you, which means that he can leave you when he grows tired of you. So, he doesn't even let you talk about that topic and keeps it at a distance. And what does that mean for you? Well, if you are constantly observing this behavior, then it should be clear enough that he really doesn't love you and doesn't want a long-term commitment. But instead of letting him play with you, it's better to take control and make the right decision on time that leads to happiness instead of regrets. Number 1. He keeps secrets from you. The last and the strongest sign that he doesn't love you is that he keeps secrets from you. Now, you might not have noticed and have ignored some subtle signs. For example, does he keep his phone secret from you, putting all those passwords on there? Does he go outside to listen to some calls instead of listening to them in front of you? Does he go outside at the same time regularly and give unsatisfactory reasons every single time? Does he not disclose his finances with you? Does he make plans without you and then tells you about them later? Does he buy stuff, doesn't let you know about it? Have you been observing this similar behavior lately? It means he's keeping secrets from you. When someone keeps secrets in a relationship, especially big ones, it often shows they're not fully invested in true love. They might hide things to avoid vulnerability or to keep control over parts of their life. It could be because he is also dating someone else and keeping it a secret from you. You see, in a real loving relationship, both people usually want to be open and honest, sharing everything good and bad. When one person hides things, it shows they might care more about their own comfort or interest than about being honest with their partner. So just remember, your happiness is top priority, even if it means leaving him first.